Hey everybody! Well, today I thought we could take a look at another cool item from the Shop Disney website. So this is the Sankara stone, a replica from Indiana Jones. They've been really making some great stuff from the Indiana Jones movies, props and things. So of course this is from Temple of Doom, the mysterious Sankara stones. Comes in a very similar box like I showed in the video for the crystal skull. It looks like a wood crate. I love the way they did it. And here we got the same plain design. Over here it says Temple of the Forbidden Eye. I think that's a reference to one of the rides at Disneyland or Disney World or both. Not really sure. Here we have the same top secret army intel. Do not open. Very neat looking box. So on the top here it has the Indiana Jones logo. And let's see, what does it have on the bottom? Oh, that's just some regular writing. Okay, so let's go and open this up and check it out. Alright, so similar to the crystal skull, this has a sleeve that's over it. Ooh, look at that. So we got this nice artwork right here. Now, it's spelt Sankara, S-A-N-K-A-R-A, but in the movie they pronounce it Shankara, like it has an S-H. So I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is. I'm going with what they say in the movie, which is Shankara. Let's see, on this side we have the Indiana Jones image. Very cool. That's got that shiny kind of finish on here. There's some information here about the Sankara stone, which we'll take a look at real quick. And there's another image of him, and also these cool symbols over here. Alright, so hopefully this comes with batteries like the crystal skull did. Okay, so we can read what it has on the back here. It says, Sankara stone with light effect. In the Temple of Doom, Mayapur's shaman begs Indy to find the Sankara stone, a fertility symbol of the god Shiva, that was stolen along with the village children by the Thuggees. Shiva is a major Hindu deity, often represented seated in deep meditation or dancing a sacred dance in order to destroy a weary universe and start the process of creation. Shiva is known as a great ascetic and the god of destruction and regeneration. The film's Sankara stones are a fictitious example of Shiva Linga. A Shiva Lingam is an abstract representation of the god, usually in the form of a short cylindrical stone. Worshippers believe the god's presence is inside the stone. Sankara, the namesake of the stones in the film, was an Indian philosopher who lived between 788 and 820 AD. He was a spiritual guide for followers who think Shiva to be the supreme being above all Hindu gods. Oh, very interesting. You know, you kind of get a little bit of a backstory on the movie, but they kind of go through it kind of quick. So anyway, let's open the box and check this out. Okay, so I'm curious to see how this looks. I have another Sankara stone. I guess I can show it to you as a comparison to this one that I found on eBay a long time ago. It's kind of like a resin thing, but we'll see what this one's got going for it. Alright, so let's take that out. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to cut this tape, so let me get a blade. Okay, so let's carefully cut this. I can already see a little bit of it in there. Curious to see what the quality of it is. You know, considering how good, if you watched my video for the crystal skull, that was shockingly good. I mean, that skull was just plain beautiful. And so I'm hoping that this is similar and has, boy, this is not the easiest thing to cut through. This styrofoam is such a mess. Okay, okay, yes, that's looking really good. Ah, good. Once again, it comes with the batteries. I like that it does that. Wow, alright. Oh, that's got a nice little bottom piece, too. Oh, we'll just take it. Oh, wow, look at that. Hopefully the lighting is doing this justice. Oh, that's cool. They got some, like, cracks in it that are kind of molded into it. That texture is very cool. It's very similar to the crystal skull. If you watch that video, once again, it has an amazing texture on the inside. Boy, that looks very, very similar. I'll get some close-ups of this. You can see there's a little bit of like reddish amber chunks in there. Wow, that's neat. That is very cool. Oh, over here it says touch here for light function. Oh, that's cool. So it must have a touch sensor. And here's the bottom. Oh, okay, let's see. Looks like there's a little finger thing. Alright, so this is really cool. Alright, there we go. So I'll put the batteries in here. See how it's got these magnets right here that connect to these? Now, this is something that I think the crystal skull should have had. Some kind of a bottom to it, because if you go back and watch that video once again, it just has something like this. It's just kind of exposed and it doesn't look good at all. This was much better done. It just clicks right back in there. Ooh, that is really, really nice. Okay, let me get these batteries put in here. Okay, so let's see here. Now what I like about this is it doesn't have a set screw. You can just open it, which I like. Oh, okay, so they go in vertically here. Alright, so let's see here. I got to figure out which way is which. So the spring is usually for the negative side. I'm assuming they go in like this. Okay, and this is the lid here. Put that back in place and snap it in. Then we put the cover back on. Just like that. Yeah, maybe not. Let's go this way. Maybe it fits a certain way. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's try it out. Okay, so before we look at the lights, I just want to point out that the hidden switch is right here with this little sticker. Of course, you don't want to leave that on. So once you take this off, you're going to have to try to remember where that is. So the best way to do that is if you look at the profile of this, see how there's like an indentation right here? It just kind of dips in a little bit like a spoon. You won't see that anywhere else on this part of the stone. See, it's all kind of smooth. There is a bit of a swirl right here that's indented, but nothing like the actual scoop that we see right there. So that's how you're going to know where that is. Okay, very cool. So that's how you can figure that out. Now let's take a look at this thing. Oh my gosh, look at the beauty in here. Now apologies for this reflection, but I need to get the light on here bright enough that you can see. This is very similar to the crystal skull. It has a really neat kind of, let me see if I can do it over here. It has a really nice looking kind of texturing going on in there. And it looks, I'm not even sure how they do this. This looks like a solid chunk of resin like the crystal skull is, especially when you look right up here. See how there's like some gap in there and it's just like all solid in there. It almost looks like there's water or something in it. Now see how there's these little dark reddish kind of colored little speckles in there? I like that they added that in. They're kind of all over. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. The amber color of this is very, very nice. There's a little bit of etching when I get it in the light. See the little cracks that they put in there? Now, if you watch the movie, you can obviously tell that they are using different stones because the ones that light up look like this. They have kind of like an amber color to it. But then when they're not lit up, they look like they're just made of like a real stone. They're almost like a brownish color and they don't have any translucence to them at all. And then also sometimes they have these three lines going across here and then sometimes they don't. Of course that could be if they're faced the other way. Now these ones don't have those three lines etched into it, but it does have those little cracks that you can see in there. They're kind of molded in there. That's a nice touch. Also there's an interesting little dip right in here. You can see the little scoop right in this area. So I don't know if this was molded off of one particular Sankara stone prop that they had. I would love to know how many of these they used in the movie. Obviously they had quite a few of them. There's probably some that were stunts that were made of rubber or something. When they get thrown around, they get kind of abused in the movie. But yeah, this is very cool. There's the bottom here. We can kind of see the little writing in here. Yeah, very cool. I love it. Alright, let's take a look at how the lights work. Okay, so I turned the lights down so that we can look at this better. So you're going to take this cover off. And they do have a switch on here to turn it on and off, which is great. Because that way, if you're handling it and you have it turned on, it's going to keep turning on. So this way you don't have to worry about that happening if you turn the whole thing off. Alright, so now once again there's that little indentation. So we're just going to touch right here. Oh, that looks really, really, oh man, that's so cool. Oh, that's a nice glow. Oh, look at that. Now you can actually see the touch-sensitive switch in there. So that's a little obvious. I will say that is a little obvious. But, you know, what can they do? You know, of course it's going to show through there. It's interesting how that works because somehow it goes through the plastic, I guess. I'm not really sure. Oh, that looks really, really nice. Try to get more centered here. Here, let me turn off the main lights. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Wow. That's got a really nice amber glow to it. That amber color is fantastic. So it is darker down here than it is near the top. It would have been nice if the whole thing was a little more even with the color. But it could be, oh, there's the battery compartment is in there. That's why. That's what's taken up. You know, they're probably limited on space of what they can kind of fit inside there. And I'm guessing this is actual size. It seems to be about actual size of the actual Sankara stones. Now, this is really cool. Where's that button? Okay, when you turn it off, it has a really nice slow fade. So let's watch that. Look at that. That's so cool. It's very similar to the skull, the crystal skull. It also has a slow fade. So I really like the way that fades out slowly. That is really, really neat. Ah, I love it. Let's get a closer look at this so you can kind of see how that looks inside there. So you can still see a little bit of those red kind of speckles that they put in there, which is really nice, especially down here. I love that amber color. These kind of remind me of those salt lamps that people are buying, those really cool looking salt lamps. They kind of glow. Well, this glows much more amber. I love this section right here where you can kind of see the resin is kind of like really thick right there, and then that texture on the inside doesn't go all the way to the edge. Oh, you can really see the cracks now in it. I do wish that it had those 3 lines that are supposed to go across there. I think that would have been more accurate, but as I said in the movie, you don't always see those in there. And maybe this was molded off an original because of this distinctive little scoop that's in it. It looks really cool. I wonder what happened to the original props. They're probably floating around in a museum somewhere. It should be in a museum. There's that switch. So, you know, you don't feel anything when you're touching that. So somehow, I mean, see, it doesn't stick out or anything. It must have some kind of a sensor in it. I'm not really sure how this works. See, when you turn it off, it just totally goes dark like that, but you can't feel any button or anything. So I'm not sure how that works. Oh man, this is so cool. I love this. Boy, Disney's really coming out with some really cool stuff for indie. So let me show you another one that I got a while back on eBay. This is another Sankara stone replica. Now this one is much heavier, and that's because it is solid resin. And as you can see here, the texturing in it is different. It's actually just gold flakes or gold, what is that stuff called? It's like a really thin foil. I think it's real gold foil too, by the way. And it's in there. It looks really good. And this one you can see has the lines on it. So you can see them embedded in here, the 3 lines. And this was a really nice piece. I got this on eBay quite a few years ago. And you can find these on eBay still. They're all individually made, so they all have a slightly different look to them because every piece of foil is going to be a little bit different. It has a lighter color, as you can see here, compared to the Disney version. So the Disney version is definitely lighter, but that's because it does have a little bit of weight, but this one's super heavy, and that's because it's solid. This one's got to have some hollowness in it for the lighting. And another thing that was cool about this one is it came with this really nice stand. So as you can see here, it looks kind of like a, you know, something from Indiana Jones, like an old Aztec looking thing. You can see the nice texturing. This is made of like a resin material. I like the little moss that's kind of growing in the corners. It's kind of green. This one has a light that's in the bottom. Here's a chunk of this missing out of here. And here's the bottom of this. And when you turn that, there's the batteries in there. I think it takes 3 AAA batteries. And then what you do is you push down. I don't have the batteries in this, but you'll push down on this, and there's like a little button that turns those lights on. So then when you put this thing on here, let me see if I can set this up like that. Then you put this on here. So the light from the base shines up through there, and it does look really nice, but you know, the fact that the light is in here and not in here is not as nice as the Disney one. The fact that the Disney one has the light embedded in there is cool, because now you can carry this around and it still lights up while you're holding it. So that was one disadvantage to this particular version, but I really like this stand, so what I think I might do is I'm going to go ahead and use this for this. I think that looks really nice. So I think that'll work just fine. I don't need to use the light in there. I can just simply use the stand. But yeah, this is really cool. So yeah, look kind of nice. Maybe I can find some more of these floating around somewhere. But yeah, this is really cool. So yeah, definitely I think I like the Disney one better. So once again, I got these from the Shop Disney website. I think you can get these at the theme parks too, Disneyland and Disney World. These things are really hard to get a hold of. I've been on the website, I don't know how many times, and they are always sold out. If they get them in, they're only there for a short time and they sell out as quickly as they get them. It's crazy how popular these things are, but I can understand because they're really cool. Now, they retail for $80, which I think is way too much for this, 80 bucks, but currently right now they're on sale for $47.98, so about $48. And I think that's why they're sold out. I mean, they're you know, almost nearly half price, which is why they're selling a whole bunch of these. You know, I don't know how many of these they were selling for the $80 price tag, but I'd much rather pay the $47.98. So if you want one of these, head over to the Shop Disney website, and just know they're probably sold out. In fact, when you try to look it up, it doesn't even show. Like if you put in Indiana Jones in the search, it doesn't show these at all. It's almost like you have to kind of find a link to show it, and it just shows that they're sold out. So I don't know when they're going to get more of these in. If you live next to Disneyland or Disney World, or you know somebody who can go into those parks to get one of these for you, that's probably your best bet, because who knows when the website's going to get them. But I think this is great. I love it. Once again, a tip of the hat to Disney for coming up with these beautiful props, really nicely made. You know, they're not some cheap thing. Same with the Crystal Skull. If you watch that video, it was a very high quality piece, and this is too. I mean, it's really neat. I really like it a lot. But anyway, alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and this review, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd very much appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. So thanks again, and have a good one!